The Caribbean League was formed in Toronto, Italy, among the soldiers waiting for demobilization who had experienced this crude, ruthless discrimination of the soldiers of the regiment. This is a scene from Toronto, the white soldiers, the black soldiers. This Caribbean League not only was the first organization in the entire West Indies to launch the idea of self-government for the West Indies, as well as closer union among the territories of the Caribbean after World War I. They planned a strike at a second meeting of the Caribbean League. A general strike for higher wages on their return to the West Indies was discussed by the members of the Caribbean League. That's what helped to also form Samuel Haynes. Now, Samuel Haynes would write about his experience of the regiment for the rest of his life. Here is another essay by Samuel Haynes, Epic Military Prowess of West Indians and Australians Recalled. Here is another one, West Indian Soldiers' Unsung Gallantry in War, Recalled by Armistice Anniversary, Haynes. Military achievements in Egypt, Germany, East Africa, Palestine, and Mesopotamia were sensational. Caribbean warriors turn the tide. Is this being taught to the children in the schools of Belize? Isn't it time we teach our children our real history? Why? What has taken us this long to transfer from these dusty pages of history to the textbooks? Our children should be holding these textbooks like sacred works. These are their ancestors. They are entitled to this history. Wake up, Belize. Now, on March the 4th, 1920, an article in the great Belizean newspaper, the Clarion, announced, on Thursday last, a meeting was held in the upper flat of the Oddfellows Temple, the second of a series that is intended to hold. It is intended to hold. The purpose of the meeting was the formation of a branch of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, whose headquarters are in New York. The organization is fraternal and is affiliated with the Black Star Line Steamship Company of New York. Both concerns are supported by colored people or Negroes, and the aim of the association is the uplift and improvement of Negroes everywhere, and they're drawing together in a closer bond of fellowship. This is the first documented, published record that a branch, a division of the UNIA was now afoot. A branch, a division of the UNIA was in the process of being established here in Belize. This is an image of an original Black Star Line share certificate. It is dated, I think you will see down here, 1919, signed by Marcus Garvey. And here is Brother Haynes, General Secretary of the UNIA, the British Honduras Division, to Governor Eyre Hudson, Belize, 20th April 1920. Your Excellency, I have the honor to inform you that I have been instructed by the officers of the UNIA and African Communities League to invite Your Excellency's patronage at the, quote, unveiling of the charter of this association at the CU's Theatre on Thursday, the 22nd instant, at 7:45 p.m. I have the honor to be, sir, your obedient servant. Signed, Sam S.A. Haynes, General Secretary, UNIA and ACL, British Honduras Branch. April of 1920. This is a very young man, and he has been selected to take over the important organizing role of General Secretary. The governor doesn't answer him. The governor has his private secretary, a guy called H.D. Curry, send him a very condescending letter like, what are you writing me about? What am I supposed to know about the UNIA? I don't know anything about the UNIA. I am to say that His Excellency has had no opportunity offered to him of knowing and understanding the Constitution of the Parent Association in the United States of America. Well, he damn well would very soon learn a great deal about the history of this movement. So Curry tells him, no, I'm not interested in coming to your unveiling. Samuel Haynes writes to him again on April 22nd, and he sets out this time, please note, this is very important, I have the honor to respectfully crave Your Excellency's permission to make the following appeal on behalf of the members of the returned soldiers at present in the Belize prison undergoing terms of sentences inflicted for their part in the deplorable riot of the 22nd July 1919. And Haynes sets out in the appeal all the reasons why these returned soldiers should be released. Remember I told you, it was the returned soldiers who spearheaded the insurrection. It wasn't a riot, it was an insurrection against British colonial rule, against the bankruptcy of British colonial rule. That's what it was. It is my humble wish that Your Excellency would be good enough to reconsider the circumstances under which the regretful occurrence took place, and should this appeal attain its desired purpose, I shall have the honor to request Your Excellency to appoint the 24th of May 1920 Empire Day as the date of such liberation. Do you know that on the night of the 22nd of July, when the black population of Belize City rose up and took control of this town, it was Samuel Haynes who helped to restrain them. It was Samuel Haynes who put his life on the line to help to control the insurrection on the night of the 22nd. The man should have been given a medal by the colonial regime. Now here's another article in the Clarion on April the 29th announcing that the unveiling of the charter of the Belize UNIA has taken place. And this is what I like now. We're going to get some names. The platform, specially decorated, was reserved for the newly elected officers of the association and league, composing the following ladies and gentlemen. Ladies Division, Miss Ann R. Macfield, President. Miss Wetta Campbell, First Vice President. Mrs. Elizabeth Joe, Second Vice President. Mrs. Edza Lamy, Third Vice President. Miss Eva B. Kane, Secretary. Miss Vivian Say, Treasurer. Male Division, Mr. C.H. Mortley, President, Mr. W.A. Campbell, First Vice President, Mr. Benjamin Adderley, and Vice President, Mr. Calvert Stain. And Vice President, Mr. David Belisario, Executive Secretary, Mr. S.A. Haynes, General Secretary, Mr. B. Renault, Associate Secretary, Mr. J.E. Vernon, Treasurer, Chaplain, Mr. J.N. Anglin. And this is, when the charter is unveiled, read what Samuel Haynes spoke, the words that he spoke. Unto you is given a new commandment under the charter of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, which is a charitable, friendly, humanitarian, and expansive society embodying the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, soul, and mind, and Negroes throughout the universe as thyself. And the bells of Ethiopia may soon ring to gather children into her fold. Oh, man. Very, very deep. Thank you. The charter reads as follows, and this is now the charter that Garvey had prepared. It was a very elaborate document, like a scroll. And when they unfolded it, Garvey and all of the officials in New York signed it. And now here are the people listed in the charter. The people who signed the application for the charter were Charles Henry Mortley, William Alexander Campbell, Isaiah F. Morter, E. Morter, John E. Vernon, F.A. Weir, Alfred Hornley, David Belisario. Those were the foundation members of the pioneering division of the UNIA in Belize. And this is a picture of the great Sir Isaiah Morter, who was one of the founders of that UNIA division. Now notice in the Belize Independent, a man signing his name CMS. What we're going to see, because the Negro world was still prohibited and illegal and suppressed in Belize, many of the Belizeans who wrote to the newspaper expressing their opinion would only sign their name by their initials. Once more unto the breach, dear Mr. Editor, or close the wall up with our people dead. For some time I have been pondering the advisability of agitating for the raising of the ban placed on the Negro world, a newspaper devoted in the interests of the Negro and the official organ of the UNIA and ACL, and have now reached the decisive point. The British had not only suppressed the Negro world, but they were proposing to bring in a new seditious publications ordinance to ban all African American newspapers coming from America.